Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans, and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist, and internationally published author, helping take your life and your business, your health, fitness, mindset, and body from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And today I want to talk to you about high performance data, how we use data to get a much better outcome than we're currently getting. Now, today's discussion is going to be largely around health and wellness, strength, fitness, body, all of the things relating to that. But at the end of this session, I'm going to explain to you how you can use these same principles to adopt it to any area of your life where you want a high level of performance. So to start off, I want to give you a little bit of background. Now, if you're a long-term subscriber to the Mental Toughness and Body Show, then I thank you for your support. But if this is the first time that you're picking this up, I want to just give you a little bit of a background. Now, I am not and never have been a high-performance athlete, okay? I'm a short guy. I love sports as a kid, but I was so small compared to everybody else as I was growing up. I was just never going to be able to have that level of success in the sports that I like cricket and football and that kind of stuff. Didn't have the right support around me to encourage me into those areas. And I guess I didn't have also a very good self-image and self-belief in what I was capable of. So I didn't have that driving force in that area. I ended up taking it down the music path and ended up following music and doing that and following that as a passion for about a decade before I, came back to my body and said, you know what, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I wanted to do something else. And I thought I really want to bring out the best in my self-image, my self-confidence. And I felt the way to do that for me was to build my body. So when I first started, I weighed like fully clothed in jeans and jumper and shoes. I weighed 50 kilos as a full-grown adult. And even the guy, when he weighed me at the gym back in 1988, he said, "Oh, gee," he said, "there's not much of you, is there?" I said, "No, that's why I'm here." So I then went on this journey to build my body. And so now, what are we, 33 years later, I've put on, probably 17, 18 kilos of solid lean muscle, and I'm now in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. But I'm always looking for, how do I get that better outcome? So today I want to talk to you about the process that I go through, not being a competitive athlete, but still considering myself to be an athlete, and to tell you how I use the data to take myself even further and further where I want to be. And so what am I talking about? I've got the mindset of an athlete. I'm wearing gold today because, I've got a few friends that are Olympic gold medalists. And what they've also helped me understand is, you don't have to be a world-class athlete to have the mindset of a world-class athlete. And that's what I love about Olympians, because you don't get to the Olympics by just being an ordinary thinking person. You've got to step your thinking up. And so what I've done is really stepped up my focus on what's important to me. Am I going to compete in the Olympics? No, but I can show up each day being the absolute best version of myself every day, looking to make sure that my food is right, making sure that I'm supplementing my body right, making sure that I'm drinking the right amount of water for me, making sure that I've got the right program around me, strength-wise, cardio-wise, to get the outcomes that I want. Because I'm 53 years, I've just turned 53 at the time of recording this, so it's August 2021. And I do believe that I can look better and feel better and be healthier every year for as long as I live. So that is my focus, to be the best 53-year-old that I can be. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about being the best version of me that I can be. There's always going to be somebody that's better. So I think that's a kind of a bit of a mug's game in some way, unless you find there's a lot of inspiration in that for you to have that competition. But for me, it's about the competitions with myself, and it's about showing up the best version of me. Because if I'm the healthiest, strongest version of myself, that just radiates out into every other area of my life. And that's why I love body transformations, health transformations, because if you can transform that, you can transform any area of your life. It requires hard work. It requires some physical pain in doing it. A lot of the other areas of life where we change, it's about the mental pain. This requires mental, mental commitment, mental pain, mental struggle, mental challenge as well. That's why I believe if you can do this, you can do it to the other areas of your life as well. So that's what I find with my business coaching. Normally, if we can transform the person, we also transform the business. So you also transform your relationship, trying to transform your financial position. The big thing I find with a physical transformation, health transformation, you're transforming your mindset, and you aren't the same person that you are coming in. But coming out, the journey along the way, you become completely different. So let's get to some of the data. So I want to set this up by telling you about what my goals are and have been for the last couple of years, and how I progress those from year to year. So about 18 months ago, I made the decision that I wanted to step my body up to the next level. I've always been healthy since I started training 33 years ago. I've always had a big focus on the training that I do each week, the food that I'm eating. But I guess, as naturally happens, as you become more of an authority and an expert in particular areas, you get more knowledge, you become smarter. And for me, my training, my eating now, it's becoming smarter in the way that I approach things so that I can get better outcomes in a shorter amount of time. It makes sense, doesn't it? So it's not like I've been overweight. I was the other way. I was trying to build muscle. But I said, look, I live a particular lifestyle. It's very strict compared to what most people do in terms of their food and their training and everything. But I said, I just want to live at another level. I want to have the six pack. I want to have that sexy body. I want to be really proud of, what I've accomplished. And even though I had been up to that point, it was about going from here and saying, no, I want to go here. I want to be like fitness model, front cover magazine type body. That's what I was looking for. So that's what I made. That was the commitment that I made. And I said, all right, in order to do that, what do I need to do to change here? And there was it just came down to some tweaking of some my food. It also came down to becoming more structured in my strength training, and also engaging in a person, a strength and conditioning coach that could put me in the position that I wanted to be. Because even though I train, most of the people that I'm training, it's for weight loss and some weight gain, but not to get people on stage ready. And that's what I wanted. So I searched the globe trying to find that person, and found that person, and then said, okay, this is how I want to go about it. Now, what he said to me was, this is the first time that you've gone through this type of body transformation. So the first time that you do this is going to be your worst time. And when he said that to me the first time, I thought, I don't like the sound of that, but I get it. Because it's the first time you do anything, you're not great at it, right? A good example is my two daughters. They've just had birthdays, and at the time of recording this, my youngest one, she's just had her birthday. They're like 3 days apart in terms of their birthdays. No, that's not true. Yes, it is. Yeah, I'm the 12th. My eldest is the 16th, and my youngest is the 19th. So with 7 days, we've got 3 birthdays, and they each got a skateboard for their birthday. Now, I jumped on the skateboard, almost killed myself, but it's like anything, isn't it? The first time you get on it, you're hopeless, and you think, wow, how do you even just skate really fast without doing tricks and stuff and just stay on it? Each time I get on, I'm a little bit better. This is the same kind of thing. So he said, the first time you go through this process, it's going to be your worst time, but you're going to learn a lot of things. So what's really important, as I went through, that was last year, was to capture my data. So capture what I eat every single day, capture my training, what I'm doing for my strength training, and to the extent of not just the weights that I'm lifting, the sets that I'm doing. I track it on my phone. I've got an app that I use for all my clients, and one that I use for myself. It's really, really great. So I can look back and say, okay, what did I lift on this day 12 months ago, and see how I'm progressing. I also track my cardio, I track my sleep, I track my water intake, my supplements, and also how I'm feeling. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a second. And then I also have what's called DEXA scans. That's DEXA, which is basically an X-ray of your body. And what that does, it gives you a lot of powerful data. So it's showing me what my muscle mass is. It can also do bone density and so forth. But I'm mainly looking at what's my body fat percentage, how much muscle have I grown, and where am I sitting in terms of the overall population in terms of my my health, because I'm aiming for top 1% health. So that's also really powerful. And I have that every 12 weeks. And I do 12-week training blocks. And we've got certain goals for each 12 weeks. Now, last year when I did it, it was a little bit different. So it got started, COVID hit, but I was still really focused. All my training went from in the gym to back into my studio. I struggled with that for a bit and then got into a real pattern because we were locked down for so long. And I was in a really good position. Got to a really great outcome last year, got the 6-pack, but I did the best that I thought I could do. I'm looking back and looking at the data, I thought, man, I don't think I could have done any better. I was so focused. My workouts were great. Had a couple of, I got food poisoning there at some point. COVID obviously hit the business. A mindset, homeschooling, all that kind of stuff. But I thought I did really, really well under the circumstances. And I got the 6-pack, but it wasn't exactly what I thought. But like my coach said, he said, you don't know what you were going to look like. You set some expectations that may or may not have been unrealistic for you. But he said, look, I'm really proud of what you've been able to do. And compared to the other clients he was working with, he said, you have achieved the best outcome. You have been the most focused. You've done a super job. But for me, my high performance mentality was, I wanted more. So we went into this year. And so what I was aiming for was one date last year. So I compete in these challenges. And it was all set on I think it was the 19th of November last year. So everything led up to that point. Then after that, I had a few weeks off my training. The body took a bit of a hit because of the stress that I placed my body under. And I used those next 6-8 weeks going through my training, nothing heavy, no heavy training, and just trying to get my mindset around, so what was I going to do this year? Because last year I thought, man, I don't see how I could be any more focused, this following year as to last year, because I was just so focused, so driven. But over that time, I worked out what my goals were going to be, and that was to put on 4 kilos of muscle this year. And so I set myself up at the start of the year. I had a meeting with my coach. We worked through it and said, okay, what can we do differently this year compared to last year? And because the timing was just better, we said, okay, let's have 3 12-week training blocks that are very clear leading up to my end date this year. Let's get the DEXA scans done at every 12 weeks. Let's set the food up. Experimenting with some of my food in the first 12 weeks so I could see what's working for me, what's not working, et cetera, et cetera. And so now that's gone really well. So the first 2 12-week training blocks have gone really, really well for me. The results for the DEXA scans haven't been as great as I've wanted. I've had 2 scans. They haven't been as great as I've wanted. But as my coach said, he said, look, the differences that your DEXA scans are showing up, he said, they're not going to show up in a photo. And what I'm aiming for is the best looking photos at the end to give me for this challenge that I kept going into. That's what I'm really looking for. So I'm still focused, and I've done a lot of really good work. So I'm in my strength is better than last year. My focus is definitely probably stronger. It's either the same or stronger. I feel that it's better than last year. This is my cat walking across the front of the camera. Sorry about that. That's been really good. I have more energy this year than last year, that's for sure. How do I know that? Well, when I can feel it, but I can tell from the comments that I was writing last year on my nutrition journal that, feeling tired, really struggling. So now I'm 72 days to go before my final date this year, where I need to be in the best shape possible. So I'm in still really great health right now. I still look really good, but I'm looking for that ultimate edge, deeper lines in my 6-pack, all that kind of stuff for this photo shoot. So I want to walk you through what I'm doing now to prepare myself for these last 72 days. And you say, well, how has this got relevance for me? What I'm hoping to do for you here is so that you can see how important data is in terms of tracking your health and wellness, and maybe inspiring you to dig a little bit deeper to find maybe you can take your body, your health, the level of sexiness that you want, maybe you can step it up a little bit more. So what I did was I had a look at what was I doing this time last year when I've got, say, 60 days to go, and my eyes are going to flick across. So I'm looking at my notes from what I was doing at the 60-day mark last year. This is why it's really important to capture the data so that you can see. Otherwise, you're basing it off memory. Because if I look at everything that I'm doing now compared to last year, my food is slightly different to last year. I've eliminated some, say, certain salads from, I really don't have salads at the moment. I'm eating all vegetables. I've experimented with salads. Some of them have made me a little bit more bloated, and I found that vegetables don't. But then it's certain vegetables. So right now I've eliminated cauliflower. Cauliflower makes me more bloated than broccoli does. So I have a little bit of broccoli, but I don't have a lot of it, and I don't have any cauliflower. That has made me feel flatter, less bloated, holding less fluid. And so it brings out the six-pack a little bit more. My protein is better this year. More variety. I'm having more variety this year compared to last year. I'm enjoying my food much more this year compared to last year. So slight little changes there. But I've also noticed that, like I said, my energy has been much better. Focus is great. Workouts, fantastic. This year, all of my workouts have been in my studio here. What does that do? In the past, last year, I thought it was being in a gym environment with a lot of people around working out would inspire me. This year, because I've been so focused, I found it was distracting me. I didn't like it. And sometimes I go in for, say, to do a leg workout. Now, I need to be in a leg press machine for probably about 45 minutes because almost my whole workout is in the leg press machine. If I go in there and the leg press machine is being used, I can't do the whole workout. So I found that in my own studio, I've got full reign of the equipment. There's no waiting. I can do whatever I want. I can play whatever music I want, create the atmosphere that I want, and it works really, really well. So all my workouts this year have been in there. Everything is just, really cranky. So 60 days out, I'm having a look and seeing, so what did I do last year? So I was still doing a 3-day split program. So I was doing I do Tuesday, Thursday, and a Sunday as my workouts. 60 days out, that's still the same. I cut down the number of working sets that I was doing. Okay, so I was previously doing 12 sets, and then 60 days out last year, I cut down to 8. Okay, cut down my warm-outs sets. The idea was to reduce the amount of strength training that I did to around 35 to 40 minutes. Why? When people are going for hours? Because the idea is that you need to recover, because the inflammation in your muscles makes it harder to recover. And because we're now getting super serious and we're wanting to get leaner, we want to create that stimulus and then feed your body to let it recover and let the muscle do the work. Okay, so you're not doing hours and hours of cardio, you're letting the muscle do the work. This is what's about the smarter part of it. So that's what a change is at 60 days out. Last one is making sure that I consume my last meal by 6:30 p.m. at night to allow that next sort of 12-hour period before my next meal to allow the food and the muscle to do itself, to do the work, to allow the digestive system to work, the metabolism to build up, and to get that extra, muscle burn. And then what I was doing was 3 days of just fast walking. No HIIT training, no thrashing yourself for hours at a time, but 25-minute walk 3 times a week. So that's what I'm doing. Right now, I'm only doing that once. So that goes up to 3 times a week. Why? Burning some more calories. Okay, so that's 60 days out. So then we get to, and I only know that because I tracked in detail what I did last year. So right now I'm looking at what did I do last year? What do I need to do this year? 45 days out. So another 2 weeks on. So I now take it up to 5 days of walking. First thing in the morning, get up in the morning. If you're a coffee drinker, which I'm not, have your coffee, then walk, fast walking, not running or jogging, just fast walking, 25 minutes, 5 times. Increasing the protein. So currently I'm on 40 grams of protein per meal, increasing it from 45 to 50 grams, okay, up into that range. Okay, I remove all smoothies, things like that. So now on all my meals, so I'm up to 5 to 6 meals a day, all hard meals, okay, no liquid meals. Your body works harder in consuming the whole food. So that's another thing that I'm doing. Making sure that I'm taking out legumes, they can leave me a bit bloated. Yeah, and really cutting down on condiments. So in terms of sauces and that kind of stuff, you can use herbs and spices, but it's those like commercial style of condiments that can leave you more bloated, more fluid retentive. And at this stage, we're trying to get leaner and leaner and leaner. What I learned last year was I was getting leaner, but I was still feeling bloated. And I had to look back at some of the notes that my coach had sent me back. And yeah, he said, look, you must have added some new foods in here. You're looking a little bit bloated. And I remembered from some of the photos, yeah, you don't know what you don't know though. But now looking back, I can see that, yes, I was bloated. I just didn't know what it was that I was doing that was making that difference. Now I can see, okay, I think it was the salads that I was having. I was having too much cabbage, too much of these other things in there that was really having a detrimental impact. So I know not to do that again this time. Yeah, still doing a pre and post workout supplementation. Okay, I cut my creatine down. I was only doing it post workout, as opposed to doing it on a 3-day cycle that I do at the moment. And making sure that my last meal had at least 3 cups of mixed vegetables in it as well. That gives you that extra metabolic burn. So there's that. 30 days out, so another 2 weeks in, we want to still make sure that we're having our breakfast at no later than 6 a.m. Last meal is no later than 7 p.m. All liquid meals are gone now. Up to 45 days, I was having 1 actually. So they're all gone now. And again, just keep on with the walking. Now, what we're adding at the walking is, because of what I'm doing, I've got to work on my posing for the photos and stuff. So I'm doing 20 minutes of posing after the end of my walk. Now you might think, oh, well, what's that? That's just standing there looking in the mirror. When you're posing and flexing your muscles, it's incredibly hard. So it's an extra workout. So you get some more burn, but you're also building the muscle. You know, you're flexing the muscle. So it's actually quite hard to do. It's like 20 minutes of posing is really hard work if you're doing it properly. So then we do that for another 20 days. We get down to the last 10 days. 10 days out, we stop all creatines that can make you a bit fluid retentive. So that's all gone. Everything else stays the same. 5 days out, I'm starting to reduce my vegetables by about half a cup per meal. So that comes down. 4 days out, protein stays the same at that point. 4 days out, I stop all training. Okay, no training at all. And all we're doing is just posing every day. We practice that for 20 minutes every day. I put the camera up, I'm taking practice photos, sending them through to my coach, making sure that the lighting is right, all that kind of stuff. Sounds silly, but that's what's important to get it right. Keep practicing all of that. 3 days out, I start to have just 3 to 4 max meals. And so I've cut down the vegetables, I'm doing all that. But I make sure that 2 of those 3 meals have the high energy carbs in there. Okay, so like say a cup of rice or something like that. Keep doing that. And yeah, only using those high energy carb sources that I know work for me. So I wouldn't introduce anything new, because that could have a detrimental impact, could make me feel bloated. And yeah, that's what I'm doing for the last 3 days. Okay, right up to that photo shoot. So I tell you all that. I know that's a lot of information, and it's going to be too much detail for many of you to be interested in doing. But I want to give you that data, because it's about high performance, right? This is the type of work that bodybuilders do, getting down to that last stepping on stage, being as depleted as possible in terms of the water between the skin and the muscle, depleting the fat. all that kind of stuff, so that they can be as lean as possible and have the muscles as full as possible when they go on stage. Now, all of that data I have from last year. Now, my coach is going to say, well, let's do what you did last year because we can see how you're going to respond this year. I've got a call with him actually tomorrow to go through this and say, okay, what does he believe we need to change? So I think there's some things that I would need to change because I want to get leaner this year than last year. So my feeling is to bring that all forward a week. So aim to kind of peak a week early and then use that last week to put on the finishing touches. But I'll tell you some of the questions I'm going to be asking him. Just going to scroll down here. Specifically about the training, to check in on the times. I'm going to check in on the workouts that I'm doing, whether I need to add in any extra cardio or anything like that, or whether I need to add in any more high energy food. I'm going to ask him about doing it a week early, see what his perspective is on that. And just to see what he thinks about how I can get a better outcome, so become leaner this year based on what we know happened last year. And next year, when I do it again, I'll get an even better result than this year because I'm going to do things slightly differently so that we can get a better result. But also tomorrow, I'm going to go through the whole year and say, look, I'm disappointed with the DEXA scan results that I've got. Very detailed information, x-rays saying where the fat is on my body. I know I'm going to get leaner heading into my last DEXA scan, which will be in October, like the 31st of October, to see, okay, so heading forward to the next year, I've fallen short on gaining 4 kilos of muscle this year. What do I need to do differently? Does the first, 2 12-week training blocks need to be different? I mean, I'm stronger, I'm leaner. The coach says you're building really quality muscle here, as opposed to, just building muscle. He said you're really building this long-term quality muscle. So really good, but it's still not, it's not going up. So I want to know, what do I need to do differently from this year? Because we've got all the data, we've got the food. What do I need to do differently? And maybe it's having protein higher for longer. Maybe it's doing workouts slightly differently. I don't think so, but I'm going to ask him the questions. I've been pain-free this year. Energy's been better. Sleeping's been better. My focus has been fantastic. What else have I got? It's kind of it, really. It's really just trying to understand what I need to do differently. And this is a thing. There's normally not a big difference that needs to happen, but maybe it's the small things that can make a really big difference. I mean, we introduced the creatine cycling this year, 3 days on, 3 days off. I'm sure it's had a difference, but it doesn't seem to have a massive difference because I'm not where I want to be in terms of my muscle gain. Now, on the flip side of that, again, look at what's been going on. And I've just written down here. So COVID was last year. Okay, it's continued this year. I've found that it's hit more of my clients badly. It has created a bigger hit to my business this year compared to last year. Financially, I'm still really strong. I'm probably doing better, but I'm just finding that the impact that it's having on them mentally, which is also having an impact on me. I think that's probably showing up in my body somewhere too. I do put a really high expectation on my outputs, on what I want to achieve each year. I've got that in there too, in terms of my growth and stuff. So that has been a little bit constrained. My youngest daughter, she's going through a lot of challenges this year, and she's been in and out of hospital 6 times. At the date of recording this, today, on her birthday, for heaven's sake, she may be going back into hospital today. That has obviously been playing on my mind all year. It's really challenging, taking up an enormous amount of time with hospital visits, with doctors, specialists, time in managing her, huge impact. And yeah, the way that shows up in me is probably a stress. I kind of internalize a lot, and maybe you can't really measure this. There's an element of that is also going on here. And I know my coach is going to say, look, given everything you've got going on, you're doing an amazing job, but I'm not happy with that. I want to say, yeah, but I feel great. So I should be able to manage all that. and still get the amazing outcome. So what do we need to do that, rather than just say, well, you just need to rest more and do all this? And I am getting more sleep this year compared to last year. So that has been a focus of mine as well. But I always have this high performance outlook. I want to do better. I want to do more. And let's face it, we're never going to be in a complete relaxed state. I'm not going to retire from my work, just be a professional athlete and train and focus and do all of those things with not doing the other things as well. So there's always going to be a distraction. There's always going to be something that is a stress in my life. So I want to still be a high performing person, even though all that's going on. So we'll find out tomorrow. The point of today is we've got all this high performance data. I've got a high performance athlete mindset. I train like a high performance athlete. I eat probably better than a lot of high performance athletes. I want to get the best outcome for me. Where this can transfer to you, it's using the data. Now, where you are, wherever you are with your health and wellness right now, that could just be, if you're on a weight loss journey, weighing yourself once a week, just once a week. Get up in the morning, no clothes on, go to the toilet, weigh yourself. That's your best measure. Use the same time each week, write it down, record the workouts that you're doing, record the food that you're eating, the water that you're drinking, the supplements that you're taking, from your vitamin supplements through to anything else that you're taking, how much sleep you're getting, the mood that you're in. Track it every day. And I guarantee you'll get a better outcome. Now, what the point of today is to explain how we use this data. Now, if you run a successful business, which I know a lot of you listening are, top 1% earners in your field, then I'm sure you haven't gotten to where you are in that success without having your KPIs, your budgets, your plans, et cetera, et cetera. But so few people have a high performance health outlook. And I know given you more data than you want to hear, perhaps, in terms of how I strive for my inner health and what I want for my external health. But I use it as an illustration of how the data is so powerful in driving you to another level. Okay, I've never been more focused in my life than I am now, because I use the data to support my goals and keep me moving forward. And this takes me from year to year to year. And you think, gosh, how could you do that? It's because I focus on that bigger goal, and I set a bigger goal each year as to what it is that I want to achieve. And then I break that down, reverse engineer it into 12-week chunks. I work with my strength and conditioning coach to hold me accountable and to work with the best people on my mindset and make sure that I'm constantly measuring. I'm constantly taking the photos, sending them through to my coach for external feedback, and it holds me accountable to being the best version that I can be. And that shows up in my inner health as well, which then focus, energy is so much better. Okay. So put your health, for me, it all starts from my health and wellness being at my number one value and priority in life. And everything else stems from that. I just like to take it to the next level. You can too. Now, if you want to know how you can start to take yourself to the next level, because you might be listening to this and saying, wow, I'm so far away from everything that you've been talking about. That's fine. It's about little steps that you can take each day to get you from here to here. I can help you. The mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for your free consultation. Let's start a conversation. Let's get you recording your data so we can get you, turning you into a high performance achiever in terms of your health and wellness. If I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing extraordinary about me apart from my mindset and my willingness to grow every single day. But I've created that. I wasn't born with it. I come from a very simple beginning. I've been performing higher than any member of my family, but that's because I've created it. I've conditioned myself for success. You can too, daily. Stay safe, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.